if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, Lord knows like what that guy or guys would have did. You feel me? Um, and I was just making sure that, I was doing what my uncle always told me to do whenever you in a situation like that. Just listen, put your hands on the steering wheel, just listen. So, gotta be careful, man.
All right, joining us now to talk more about this is former NFL wide receiver Frank Murphy. He was drafted by the Chicago Bears. He played for the Dolphins, the Buccaneers, and the Texans. Frank is also the chair of the Athletes for America Coalition, part of the America First Policy Institute, and is the author of The Man Behind the Helmet and the God of Second Chances. Great to have you with us, sir.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I don't know if you've had a chance, Frank, yet to see the video and the audio, and you can hear the officer. He's telling Tyreek Hill to open his door. Tyreek Hill cracks his window, and then things kind of escalate from there. What's your read on this whole situation?
I think it's a little overboard. I mean, we're talking about a traffic violation. If that stands in court, if that's exactly what it was, it wasn't called for. I think it's a better way to handle things professionally, of course. And of course, I think Tyree made a statement during his interview that he wants to try to make it better. He want to do some things in the community. So we'll be reaching out to him. Athletes for America will be reaching out to him and see how we can help him connect in the community, because we're connected with PAL, Police Athletic League, in the community when it comes to these types of things in Miami, Tampa, and Jacksonville. So I just think it's a little overboard.
Yeah, I mean, I think clearly very reminiscent of what happened to Scottie Scheffler, the golfer, and you can read into these things. But I heard the audio, and it seems like this was an authority dispute between the officer who really wanted Tyreek Hill to open his door. Tyreek Hill didn't want to open his door, partly because, and again, this is my interpretation about how aggressive the officer was being. I think Tyreek Hill made an important point too during that press conference. Let's say he wasn't driving a Ferrari or a McLaren or whatever that car was, and he wasn't Tyreek Hill. What happens then?
Yeah, I think a lot of things could have took place, but because of his name, his reputation, I think it helped the situation from going any farther than we see right here. But one thing I can say, man, we have to be. It's real heated right now. It's the heat of the moment everywhere. It's election time, getting ready to come up. There's a lot of things out there. So I think if you're complying with the officer, even if you're having some confusion just of what to do and how to do it, I think we have to keep our cool. It's only a traffic stop, and Tyree is right. What if it wasn't him, an NFL player? I don't have several guys that we have mentored and helped through a lot of situations, and they have faced some of this before, and it's unfortunate. But I think, like Hill said, let's get together. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can come to a resolution, and let's mentor the next generation or those who may face this same thing.
Yeah, I think that you couldn't say it any better than that. I think this is so important, and it'll be interesting to see how Tyreek Hill uses this opportunity. He can really have some important conversations with a lot of people. The last thing any of us wants to see, Frank, is someone get shot or have a police officer get injured because things get out of control in a traffic stop, of all things. So a great reminder for all of us just to chill out these days and calm down. Cooler heads hopefully will prevail. I have one more topic I want to talk about with you, Frank, while we have you here. This column that I read this morning in the LA current day problems in California. Doesn't this seem like it's passing the buck to you?
Yeah, I think you just need to see who's in charge. It's real simple. Sometimes we make things hard. Who's in charge? Who's passing policies? Who's writing policies? And look at the administration that we're under right now. This is not just falling out the sky. No, we're in a bad situation here. We're in an unfortunate situation, especially with young men and women that's trying to work and buy a house and trying to pay for grocery and trying to do the things that provide for their family. Let's just look at it for what it is and stop adding. We're adding a lot of things behind there just to justify. Take responsibility that the policies that's in place and who's in office is the reason why we're in a lot of these things right now. That's why these things are happening.
Frank, great seeing you. Tyreek Hill, I think, has one of the fastest 40 times out there right now. What was your 40 time when you were in the league?
Oh, not you know, I still got the record at Kansas State University.
Oh,
I
okay.
jumped to 42 and a half and I ran a 4.21.
All
So I
right.
definitely possess a lot of speed myself.
You know, I actually went to Manhattan, Kansas one time. It is beautiful out there. You see the Great Plains, just a
Yeah.
great place. Manhattan, Kansas, special place. All right, great to have you with us, Frank Murphy. Look forward to having you
Anytime.
back, hopefully in the future again. Frank Murphy from the America First Policy Institute, retired NFL player.